Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609 in Central Texas, USA. It's a Friday morning, and we're going to continue with our series of RVing with Dick and Jane. Isn't that exciting? For those of you that remember your first grade reader, I think it was fun with Dick and Jane. But anyway, having said that, for those of you that are new to this series of RVing adventures, it's about a couple that has just retired, and they're going to go live their dream in an RV traveling right now the western USA, and they have a 36-foot travel trailer bumper pull with 3 slide outs, a Great Dane and a Pomeranian, and they also, Dick, the husband, has acquired a brand new diesel dually for about $75,000, so he's got him a new toy to play with. And also we're going to be going in and out of the sun because this is a real windy road. This is Park Road 4 in Central Texas, USA. It goes by Inks Lake State Park in the Texas Hill Country, so we'll be going around and around and around, so just bear with me on the sunlight. But anyway, having said that, Dick and Jane have just arrived at a state park, spent the night, and this is the next morning, okay? And their adventure continues. You know, Dick and Jane get up early, of course. You know, they're scheduled people. They haven't quite got over the schedule syndrome. You know, when you're working 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, or whatever your schedule was, and you've done that for 30 years or 35 years, you become a little bit schedule oriented. And so Dick and Jane are still in that mode. So they get up right on schedule. And Jane says, Dick, instead of us having a sit-down breakfast, since we want to get on the road, why don't I just fix some donuts and some coffee, and we'll have some donuts on the road, and then we'll stop somewhere for a picnic later on. Dick agrees because he loves the coffee, and the donuts just sound great to him because he's a sugar addict in a way. Having said that, Dick goes outside and begins to hook up the vehicle, which he didn't need to unhook since they were there overnight. Arthur's note here: if you're just going to be in an RV park overnight, you may not have to unhook. You don't have to unhook if you're just going to be overnight and then leave the next morning, but that's your choice. Dick chose to unhook because he didn't know any different. So anyway, he backs his truck up, starts to get he's getting it all hooked up, and he's getting pretty good at it because he's done it a few times now. He unhooks the water and doesn't unhook the electric because Jane said she was going to be using the microwave to heat the donuts. After a few minutes, Jane's completed her task, Dick's completed his task. They get in the truck, pull away from their site at the state park, drive about 4 miles. Jane's enjoying her coffee, and then Dick realizes he doesn't have his coffee. And so he says, Jane, where is my coffee? And she says, well, don't you remember? You took it outside with you when you were hooking up the travel trailer. Oh. So he thinks and thinks and thinks, and then it occurs to him, oops, he knows where it is. It's on the bumper of the diesel dually on the outside. So he looks for a place to pull over, and after a few minutes, he finds one. He pulls over slowly, gets out, goes to the back, and sure enough, right there on the bumper is the large cup of delicious coffee, and it hadn't even been spilt. Hallelujah, good for Dick. Arthur's note here: whenever you're hooking up an RV, everyone has a tendency to put things down. In other words, if you have a cup of coffee or a soda water or whatever, a drink in your hand, you're going to set it on the roof, the hood, or the bumper, or somewhere. Possibly. If you have your sunglasses on and then you don't need them, or you can't see clearly with them on, then you're going to take them off and lay them down somewhere. And the reason I'm saying this is because I've done all of it, okay? So my suggestion is this, and I learned this the hard way after several mistakes, and that's this: do not put anything down outside. Whenever you come out of your RV with your coffee, donuts, or whatever you have in your hands, walk immediately to your vehicle and put them inside the vehicle. The worst thing that can happen then is they're inside the vehicle. You just have to find them. Okay, put your glasses on the dashboard, put your coffee in the holder, your donut wherever you want to put it, and get ready to go then. Then get ready to go, and then when you get in the vehicle, everything will be there, because I guarantee you, I have seen people drive away from RV sites many times with a cup on the roof, the bumper, or somewhere that it ain't supposed to be. Enough said about that. But anyway, they pulled over. Dick got his cup of coffee, gets back in the RV. It was kind of a gotcha moment. You know, Jane was kind of like, gotcha, you know what I mean? But that's all right. That's the way people do. We're human. You know, we like to jab each other. So anyway, they go a little farther down the road, and Dick says, hey, Jane, where's those donuts? She says, oh my God, they're in the microwave. Another gotcha moment. So anyway, Dick finds a place to pull over. Jane gets out, heads towards the RV to get the donuts, and she stops. He noticed her. He was watching her in the mirror, and he noticed she stopped. So he rolled down the window and says, what's up? She says, hey, Dick, come here. So Dick gets out of his new diesel dually, walks around to the side, and sure enough, Jane says, look right there. And he looks, and he says, what? She said, the steps. You forgot to put the steps up. He said, yeah, I guess I did. So he did, obviously. So it was a gotcha, gotcha, gotcha moment. So Jane goes in, gets the donuts. They get back in the, Dick puts the steps up. They get back in the truck, and they proceed down the interstate, because they're going to an RV resort now in Arizona, and it's only for Dick a 6-hour drive, which is around the corner. You know, that's a quickie for him. Arthur's note here. I know I've said this in other videos, and I'll say it again. Keep your trips as short as possible. 4 hours max. In my worthless opinion. You know, that'll give you 200 or 250 miles, depending on what speed you drive or what, you know, kind of road you're on. But anyway, that's good enough. Enough said about that. Jane and Dick have decided that they're going on a RVing marathon. And the first day they drove about 9 hours because they got caught in a dust storm or whatever. But anyway, enough said. 6 hours. In 6 hours, they're going to be at an RV resort in Arizona. Somewhere. I don't know where, because I haven't made that part up yet. The RV resort that they're going to is kind of pricey. It's $65 a night. And believe me, Arthur's note here, the most expensive way to stay in RV parks is by the night, by the day. If you stay by the week, it's probably 40% off. If you stay by the month, it's 60% off. Enough said. Anyway, here comes Dick and Jane right here, almost. Very close. Only that's not a diesel dually, and it's not 36 feet long. But enough said about that. The RV resort that they're going to, very nice one, was recommended to them by some friends who had been there. It has a heated pool, wonderful pool, because it's up in the elevations. It has a hot tub, a sauna, and other things, all kind of stuff. I mean, it is a mega resort. Now, here is a little Arthur's note here. Whenever the park has the name "Art Resort" in it, be prepared to pay 50% more. That word alone is worth $25 a night, minimum, plus the normal fee of $40. You're looking at $65. And sometimes they won't let you in there if your RV is over 10 years old. They're a little picky. Enough said about that. Anyway, for Dick and Jane, who are both in their middle 60s, are they going to use the heated pool? No. Are they going to use the hot tub? No. So the RV resort has all these cute amenities that they're paying for, but they're probably not going to use any of them in the 2 days that they're going to be there, because they're going to arrive in the afternoon, day one, spend the night. They'll have a full day the next day, and then the following day they'll leave. So they've only got one full day at the resort, but they're not going to be at the resort because there's some sights they want to see near the resort, so they're going to be out driving around all day. Enough said about that. You know, why pay the premium for a resort if you're not going to use, quote, all the amenities? Anyway, so they drive. Anyway, Dick is noticing the fuel gauge. They've been on the road for about 3 hours or so. He decides that they better top off before they go much farther. They're coming into a very large city, and they're on the outskirts. He's looking for a place to pull in and get some diesel. and he sees a sign, you know, diesel, whatever price, next exit. So he pulls off, takes the exit, goes toward the gas station, but he can't turn in that way. So he decides, well, he's going to go down the street farther, go around the block, and then come back from the other direction would make it easier, because remember, he's got a 36-foot travel trailer. So he does. He passes the gas station, goes down the street, turns to the right, and as he's going, he notices a little jerk, and he looks and he notices that his wheels on the travel trailer have gone up over the curb. In other words, he turned a little too sharp, so to speak. Fortunately, he didn't blow out a tire. He could have, but he didn't. And normally you won't. All you'll do is you'll damage the white walls, and they'll look like crap for the rest of the time you own that RV, but that's enough said. Anyway, Arthur's note. Have you ever seen a truck with a sign on the back that says, caution, wide turns? Have you ever seen that? I'm sure some of you have. There's a reason for that. If you're pulling a 36-foot travel trailer or in that range, and you think you're going to make a 90-degree turn, and the trailer's going to make it with you, you're dreaming. It ain't. It's going to come at an angle, and when it does, it's going to take out everything on that side, whether it's stop signs, yield signs, or trees, or whatever, or cars. So anyway, Dick learned a lesson the easy way, and some of you might too. Take a little wider turn when you're doing that. So then he takes, that was his first right turn. Then he goes down a little further, he's going to take another right, and it's a one-way street going the other way. So he can't take a right there. So he was going to go straight, but he noticed that it turned into a gravel road. And there was a sign there that said, no outlet. So he's screwed. He's got to go left. So he turns left on the one-way. Guess what? The one-way goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And there's no turn. It's just the street from hell. And but anyway, the Arthur's note. The message here is, whenever you think you're going to turn around or take a shortcut, you might want to pull over and do a little Google map look, because some of these places don't know who you are and don't care, and you'll turn down a street and you may see a brick wall in front of you. They don't know that you're Mr. So-and-so from wherever, and that wall isn't supposed to be there. They're supposed to let you pass without interference. Here's a note here, and I ought to add this into the story later on, and I might. Well, I'll save it, but it's pretty interesting. It's some of the things that can happen when you pull into RV parks, state parks, and other places. You get directions from the people, and they tell you where your site is. Of course, they go over it real quick, and then you head that way. And anyway, a lot of things can happen en route. But anyway, so Dick, going down the one way from hell, finally finds a turn. He turns left, and Jane says, Dick, why don't we pull over and see if we can't just get Google Maps to direct us to a fuel stop? Dick says, good idea, Jane. So they do. The next place they find to pull over, they get Google Maps out, do a Google search for the nearest place to get diesel, and let Miss Google direct them turn by turn to the fuel station. And that all worked out fine. So there they are, they gassed up, used the restroom, everything's wonderful. The thing about having a travel trailer, and they're finding it out, is you don't have to go into those dirty little restrooms in gas stations and stuff as you're traveling. You have your own little restroom with you, and if you have enough water in your fresh water tank, you can even flush the toilet. So my recommendation there is to keep about 10 gallons or so in your fresh water tank, and then if you have to use the restroom while you're traveling, just use the RV toilet, and then when you get to your campsite, you can dump it right there, if not at your site, at the dump station when you leave. So having said that, Dick and Jane are back in harmony, and they're on the road headed toward the RV resort, and we'll kind of end it there by saying, for you people that are new to RVing, just remember there are a few things to learn, not a lot. Don't be in a hurry, take it easy, and Take it one day at a time. So having said that, from Central Texas, USA, this is Highway 29, goes east and west. We're headed towards Llano, Texas right now. This little community that we're coming into is the little community of Buckhannon Dam, and that's all it is, just a little lakefront community with about a permanent population, probably around 1,000, I guess. That's just a pure guess. I don't think they have a sign that gives the population. But be that as it may, The Adventures of Dick and Jane #5 is completed. I believe it's #5. And so we'll end it. Thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, buy whatever you want. But if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of my videos. Why? Because I get a small commission and it does not cost you 1 penny. What else? Drink plenty of water. 3 or 4 quarts a day won't hurt you. It's good for you. It'll help you avoid gout, kidney stones. It'll also help you lose weight because you'll be full of water. What else? Take deep breaths. You know, breathe in deep, hold it for a few seconds, breathe out slowly, and then and that'll relieve stress, which lowers your blood pressure, and that's good for you. What else? Stretch, 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 walk, walk, walk. I just finished mine and I'm out for a drive now. What else? Stand guard at the door of your mind, because what you let in are ingredients. Don't let negative Nancy or negative Ned get into your head, get inside of your head. Accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. And with that in mind, folks, enjoy your Friday and your weekend coming up. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.